Good morning and welcome to our live crafting session this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm based in the market town of Brackley in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Welcome to my Facebook channel. Oh, I don't need two of me talking. So I hope you've had a lovely weekend. It's a beautiful blue sky here, a little bit breezy, a little bit cool, but a beautiful blue sky here. So much so that I haven't got any additional lighting on, so fingers crossed it stays that way. I'll just see actually if I need maybe a little bit on the left hand side as my window is over here on the right. So welcome to a new stamp set of the week. This is called Merriest Trees, as you can see here, and it has a Christmas tree image and some detail. It has some stars, some baubles, a whole set of little presents. There's a star for the top, presents here. There's a little tree trunk here, and a bow and some sentiments. And it also has a set of matching dies, which is actually what we're using today. We're not using the stamp set today. Let me grab the dies. So they are here. Loads of dies in here, including a really nice stitched tag. So I will be using that. But this is clever is these dies fit the different layers of the tree. So it's really easy to stamp, cut maybe four or five times, there's 5 layers, cut out the individual layers and then stack them together. It's bigger than you see here. Let me show you the actual tree size. So that is the actual size. So it's not, let's see, this is the note card size, like so. So it's about 4.5 inches in height, and you can cut out the different layers. Now you can find this stamp set in our Christmas mini catalogue, which is on page, and it's on page 12. So the Christmas catalogue is the one that's got that lovely green cover with the wreaths on the cards. And you can find this on page number 12. So you've got the stamp set, you've got the details, and then you've got the matching dies that go with it. So today we're just going to use actually one of the dies, and that is the large tree die, so the largest one. Actually, it's not the largest one, I beg your pardon, it's one down from that because I wanted to fit it on a note card. So the large one is bigger than that. What am I talking about? So the tallest tree cut out is, 10 centimetres. So yes, it wouldn't quite fit properly on a note card. And what we're going to do is use the aperture that it creates. So let me show you this here. And this was directly from a card that I saw Sam Dempsey-Clark do for her coffee and card recently. And I thought, what a brilliant idea. So I asked her if I could use her idea, and she was more than happy to. So what I've done is I've taken the layer that I would normally put on a note card. So this is 3¼ by 4¾ inches. And then I actually stacked 2 of these together, pop the die on top and run them through the die cutting machine. And that leaves us with that aperture that we're going to put onto our card. And then we're going to layer strips of paper behind that. So very similar to iris folding. If you ever came across that, it was very popular. Oh, goodness me. Well, it probably still is popular, to be honest. where you had folded pieces of paper rather than just strips, in lots of different intricate patterns. There was a lot of it around when I very first started, so sort of 20 years ago, but it's still around today, but this is a simpler version of it. So here's some samples that I did ready for coffee and card on Friday. So this I've just used for something slightly different and rustic, crumb cake layer on the top, and then just strips of paper behind. This one is in the white, and I've chosen strips of the Joy to Christmas papers. And on this one, morning Catherine, morning Carol, and morning Teresa. This one here I've done with the blues, and these little stars come from the stamp set. And this particular greeting is from Brightest Glow, and that's got lots of Christmas greetings on it, so really useful. And the widths of the strips of paper I cut were 1.5 centimetres. You could vary those. I felt that gave a nice mix in that window. Obviously, if you choose the smaller tree, then I would choose narrower bands. If you went for the larger tree, you could use larger ones. And these are the same, but you could vary the width. Okay, you really could. So those are some samples there. Hopefully you can see those. So what I did was I cut up, actually this is some scrap card from our designer series paper packs. And I just cut it so that it will fit behind our aperture. And what I'm going to do is grab some strips of card. So these I've already cut up. So this is perfect for using up those odd pieces. I've got a complete mix in here. So I've got some old red velvet. I've got glitter red. I've got some of that from the Joy of Christmas. So I'm just going to pick out, I want about 6 to fill the aperture on the size that I've cut. Now I'm going to go for vanilla card. So I'm going to avoid the more white versions. So let's see what I can find. This has got a bit of vanilla in it. This is from the Very Cute one. Could introduce a little bit of green. So as you can see, all I've done for the class is just cut up loads of strips. Definitely more than we'll need for coffee and card, but I do like to give everybody a choice rather than struggling to find something. Okay, so let's see how we've got here. And there is a little star in the set of dies, so I've cut some of those out as well. Oh yes, ribbon is good, and you could mix ribbon and card, paper, all sorts. So we want 6. There's a lot of red in there, isn't there? But let's try 2 lots of green. The worst thing is choosing, really, isn't it? That's got some vanilla in it. Let's just see. Oh, I've got that. And this is perfect with any papers. Obviously we've done this with Christmas papers, but if you've got any bold designs, it's great for birthday cards as well, and celebrations. And the shape can be anything. So it could be a punched shape. So for example, you could use the polar bear, but if you had a circle die, you could make it into a bauble. And what's interesting is in the stamp set is there are these 3 baubles, and they're is a die that cuts out the 3 baubles, but there's 3 of them. So if you stamped it 3 times, you can cut 9 out in one go, and then you can put the baubles on the top. So you could, for example, cut that in gold glimmer, especially the self-adhesive one, and then put the baubles on the top. I didn't feel it needed it because there's a lot going on with the pattern. Good morning, Yuta from Jenny Creations. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed on stage at home over the weekend. So this is our aperture. As I said, it can be anything. So if you've got a punch, even if you've got just a rectangle, a square, a circle, I'm trying to think what else. I'm just going to look at the dies in here, see if I can give you any other ideas. But it's a really easy, a balloon, if you had a big balloon die, that would definitely work. Just looking at the other, so we've got a rocking horse die. Obviously there's a big pumpkin die, so that would be quite fun with pumpkin colours. A little bit late for us obviously now. So really any dies that you've got, even the polar bear punch, you would want quite small strips, I would say, for that. Okay, so this is just my scrap card, so it doesn't matter that that's white. And what I want is 6 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's tiny one at the top. Okay, just a little piece in there. So I think what I'm going to do is put my velvet at the top, and then I'm going to alternate a sort of patterned one and a plain one, sort of like that. Can really do with that as being green, couldn't I? But to be honest, it's such a small piece that you see, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to adhere those in a second. What I want to do first is stamp the tree trunk on the front before I try and put anything else together. And so seconds away I had a small block. Let's grab the trunk from here. Like so. And I'm going to stamp it, and if you see there's a nice little point here. So what I'm going to do is stamp it so the stamp goes off the top, so rather than trying to get it in that point. And also this is quite a long trunk for a small tree. Obviously it's designed for the largest size of tree, so I want it a little bit smaller. So the easiest thing to do is just stamp it so it overlaps. I've got some pecan pie here. Let's just put this piece behind just to protect my table. So just inking that up, really any colour that you think suits. There we go. So I'm stamping it so it's gone off the top, so you don't have a gap. Nothing worse than a gap for something that doesn't attach itself. Okay, so we're going to just put these strips down, and I found the easiest way is to just put some tape. You can do it either all the way around or along the edges. Just going to do it all around so it catches the bit at the top. Now on Friday I did it with glue at Coffee and Card, which was fine, but people do tend to get a little bit caught up with the glue, so I would definitely, having done it once, recommend using the tape. So just taking those pieces off. So this is just a scrap piece from the backings of the papers. No point in wasting good card. Oops, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one at the bottom, and it's not critical. So this size, to give you an idea, is I've just cut this to about 9 by 8, just under 8. And all I'm going to do is just pop these on here, slide one onto the next one like so, and it doesn't matter that some of them are wider. And obviously at the top we've got a smaller aperture, so you could, you know, cut a triangle, but it's just as easy to keep it the same and then trim any edges down. Obviously you could cut this if you only had a little bit of your best paper, for example, and you knew you were going to use it at the top. You could make those pieces smaller if you wanted to. I'm just going to trim these edges down. Like so. It's not critical, depends on how close this is to your aperture piece. So nice and easy. This is a great one to do with children as well, because they can just sit and put those pieces together. And then you've got a little bit of play to decide where that's going to fit. In fact, with those trees there, it's worked quite nicely. So that's going to go onto there like that. Now you can stamp elements around that if you want to. So if you look at this one here, I stamped those stars from the same stamp set. You could also put this through an embossing folder, so I would definitely stamp this first and pop it through an embossing folder. So it could be the snowflakes one, could be a textured one, that would look really nice. And then that's going to go onto there. Now you can put that flat, or you could put it on dimensionals. Although the dimensionals does cast a nice shadow, I like to have it flat because I don't like to see these edges down the side. But if you had a bigger card and therefore more space either side, then I would potentially raise that up on dimensionals. Okay. So let's grab a piece of card for our sentiment. Now you could also stamp this higher up and put your sentiment at the bottom, or cut the aperture, or put a sentiment across the top. I quite like having one across the middle, like here. This one I've done with the lovely Merry Bold and Bright. So there's lots of variations. If you had a sort of smaller set, you could have a little one to the right hand side, or you could put Happy and Christmas either side like that. So lots of variations really, just use what you've got. So I'm going to use Season's Greetings, which I've actually got out ready. Yeah, shock horror. And I've got a lot of red here, so I'm going to balance that with the shaded spruce. Morning Teresa, morning Dee. So I hope everybody is well. Just sneaking a sip of coffee, sorry. So I'm just going to stamp Season's Greetings. This might be a good one, Dee, for your children at a school craft club. Something similar. So I'm just going to stamp this on a piece of vanilla, like so. And then I'm just going to cut that. So I find it easier to use a larger piece, stamp across the straight side, hopefully, and then cut that to size. Let me grab that. So our class in a box is all up and running and booking for November. Thank you, Teresa, for your booking and, oh, that was a bit close, and payment. There's that one there, and I'll trim that a little bit closer on the bottom as well. There we go. You could put that with another piece of card behind if you wanted to make it stand out, but it would work nicely across there or there. Okay, so let's put this together on our card. So I've got our standard note card. So these come in white vanilla, which is an ivory. Just going to find a block. And also a craft colour. And the craft colour ones come with a box as well. So you can make up a whole box of these and make the cards, put them into the box, and then gift them completed like that. So I'm going to attach this to the back of here. So all I need to do really is make sure that it's sealed around the aperture. So what I like to do is leave that on there. I'm going to put some glue around the edge, not too close, because remember this whole thing is going to be attached anyway. I don't want the glue seeping out. You could use tape as well, or a tape runner. And then just choose the section that I want and pop my card down on top. And just position it lightly so you've got the opportunity to move it, like so. And it may be that this isn't level at the side, I can see that, because I wanted to get those trees in position. So it's a little bit close to the edge, so I can just carefully trim some of that out. There we go. I could make that a little bit smaller in the first place. And then our season's greetings can go wherever we like. And that's going to go onto our card with our piece there. Now you could put that whole piece through an embossing folder if you wanted to. And I'm tempted to do that. Just to see what it looks like. Except my machine is in the other room. So I will do one and you can see what it looks like. I just think that would be nice because it's quite plain, but I do like that because the focus then is on the tree. So let's glue this down. Go. So that panel, as I said, is 3 1/4 by 4 3/4 inches to fit our 3 1/2 by 5 card, like so. And I've just got to decide where that's going to go, and then add a star. I think I'm going to put it like it there actually. Normally, as you see, I would have done it at an angle, but I quite like it there because it's got the red either side. So I can either cut this beforehand or cut it after. I'm just going to cut it beforehand. And this needs to be 3 1/4. Oh, cut it before it's in place, Jenny. There we go. So as I say, you can recreate this with all sorts of apertures. Yes, I like that. And maybe I'll put that up on dimensionals, just some mini ones. And if you've got a set of baubles or a big balloon. Just going to support this all the way along, so I don't want it to sort of sag in the middle. And then our final thing is to add a star. As I said, if you've got the stamps and the dies, you can add baubles. I suppose I could cut out some bauble shapes with the die and you can add those. But a really versatile stamp set and set of dies. And obviously you can heat emboss your sentiment as well. There we go. And let's add a star on the top. So I pre-cut these from the die set. So there's a pointy star and a rounded star. Which are well attached. There we go. So I've got red like that, which is a shame because I've covered up my nice red velvet paper. I suppose I could have it a little bit higher, like that. All gold. I feel there's a lot of red going on. I've also got white, which is not going to work, or silver. Gold, I think. So this is our coffee and card design for this week. That's going to go on with a glue dot, but because those are already packed in my bag, I'm just going to put it on with a little bit of glue. But for coffee and card, it's going to go on with the glue dots. Actually the gold ones are self-adhesive because I cut it from our self-adhesive card. So didn't even need the glue or glue dot. So I'm just going to put that a little bit high so that I can see that red velvet paper. Not that you can see much of it, I'm afraid. There we go. There is our card. So I hope you like it. I'll show you the other ones. So this one on a white base. This one here. It's great with the textures. And then this one. So I will do one and run it through an embossing folder, just so you can see the difference. But I hope you like the design. As I say, thanks very much to Sam at Little Greenhouse Creates. You can watch her on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, with these, you end up with all these tree cutouts, which you could either stamp onto, or you could do some stamping to get an effect, or you could colour them with watercolour and inks and make extra cards out of those. So for each one of these, obviously I've got a matching Christmas tree, so you effectively get 2 for 1. So I hope you like those. It is our stamp set of the week. It's this one here. As I say, you can stamp and cut out the different layers. It's very clever that it's got a gap here. So it's very easy to cut between those layers to get a small, a bigger and a big tree. So I've used the 4 layers on that one. And then obviously there's the larger one for the die. And those are the little ornaments. Okay, so thank you so much everybody. Do have a great week. I've got a busy week ahead. I'm doing a card class for some ladies from our local ladies circle on, let me see, on Wednesday evening. I've got a team meeting online tomorrow evening. So busy, and I'm at a craft fair on Saturday at Barn Owl Farm Shop. I've been there for the last 2, if not 3 craft fairs. Really lovely. They're just outside Evenley, so if you're in the local area, I'll be there on Saturday. Thank you so much everyone. Do take care. I hope you like the design, and remember, if you buy our stamp set of the week, and all the dies. Then I sent you the elements for the craft projects that I make during the lives. Hi Emma, I do hope you're feeling better. I know you've had a rough old time recently, so I hope you're over the worst. So thank you so much everyone. Do have a great week ahead. Shout if you need any assistance or help from me. I look forward to crafting with you really soon. Bye for now.